Yehoshua-Braverman, na'im meod. We are very happy to meet you here in Mexico. We know you had a very long trip, and you are the chair of Irgún and the Department of
Connection with Israelis abroad.
And tell us a little bit, what does Irgún do?
That 125 years ago,
Okay.
with Theodor Herzl, that everybody knows about him, established the World Zionist Organization with the aim of creating a state for the Jewish people. That was his vision 125 years ago. We will mark it at the end of this August. So this is the beginning, and what we are doing, the World Zionist Organization, since then till today, is actually we are the representation of the entire Jewish people. Each one of us represent either a party in Israel or a stream, a Jewish stream, and we are the voice of the Jewish people in Israel and around the world. So to begin with, every 5 years we have a Congress, and in every Congress, as it is in election, there are different departments that are established, and then we are elected as chairs. This year, the Irgún and Connection with Israelis, for the first time, not only that we are working with diaspora Jews, but also with Israelis in the diaspora. It's a new thing, because until today there was no special relation or even programs for Israelis, and this is a message to Israelis that we want them to be part of Israel, especially the second generation, and we would like them to be connected to the local Jewish community, which is not easy, as you might know. It's not easy. Israelis are not coming so fast to the Jewish communities.
Yes, I know. Why do you think there is not any interest of Israelis to the Jewish communities?
It starts way before. I think that I would say this. I would split them into two. Those that are coming from Orthodox homes, they integrate to the Orthodox synagogues because they need the minyan in order to pray. So this is not a problem. The problem is with those that are unaffiliated in Israel, what we call chilonim, secular Jews, which in many ways find it either there is no reason to do something active in order to be Jewish, because in Israel you feel Jewish, and on the other hand, some of them feel so much anger towards the Orthodox establishment that they want to disconnect from that, and the equation is that they don't want to be affiliated to the Jewish community, thinking that being an Israeli it's enough to raise Jewish children. And we know today, all the survey that we conducted showed that this is far from reflecting a reality.
What did the survey tell you about?
That the second generation are distancing themselves from the Jewish identity. They are not rooted in the Jewish identity, and the connection with Israel, it's not a factor, because if you are bringing here an Israeli family is bringing their children, or they are born here, what they are doing, what they are busy is creating a local identity. And in order to create the local identity, either to be, Mexican or Venezuelan or others, it's not maybe a good example, because I don't see many going these days to Venezuela, but United States and other places in the world, they are busy in giving up on the history of their parents and the language and the tradition, and trying to find their way to merge into the local, the general local community. So they are becoming more Mexican, more Americans, more than Jewish, or for sure Israelis.
And what is Irgún now?
So Irgún is super. We have few responsibilities. One, and the most important one, is over the Zionist Federation around the world. That this is the arm of the World Zionist Organization, the political arm of the executive that we are sitting in Jerusalem, with the aim to actually to bring the voice of the entire Jewish community. And sometimes you have a Jewish community and not necessarily very much connected to the state of Israel. The Zionist Federation, we have 36 around the world that we are seeing together. The idea is to bring more of Israel to the community with a flavor of the 21st century, not to tell the story of the past, but to make it relevant for today. And this is what we are doing. We're doing other stuff, like the next Congress that will be in 2023, before the 75th anniversary of the State of Israel. Again, is under the supervision of my department. But the most important is the Zionist Federation, that are seeking for a new way to bring Zionism to the communities.
Well, this is very interesting because you have to change the narrative, like you say. What is a new narrative?
What is the new narrative? I think if in the past, to be very, very general, being Zionist was to make Aliyah. That was the ultimate way to say I'm a Zionist. Today we know that this is not necessarily what happens. We can find people all over the world, and for me, or for some, still Aliyah is the ultimate way to be Zionist. For me, Zionism today is both. One is to feel that Israel is the homeland for the Jewish people, no matter where you decide to live, and to create an environment that actually enables this support to the state of Israel. It's not a secret that being a Jew today in the world is not easy. Not to mention to be advocate or to speak in favor of Israel. So is to empower the young generation, to create a sense of pride in Israel. And this is something that we are really working hard in order to create new programs, new cultural language, in order to engage more young adults into Israel, to get to know better what Israel stands for, and at the same time to allow the Jewish community around the world to feel part of something that is bigger than themselves. So, both ways.
Wow, and what is your strategy for doing this?
Oh, we have the World Zionist Organization has 14 departments. Each one is working with something different. But at the end of the day, we want to incorporate everything. Like, combating anti-Semitism is not enough, because if we will talk only about anti, then we will lose them. We need to speak about in favor. So, for instance, for Yom HaAtzmaut, we did a few things with an artist, Israeli artist, Amit Shimoni. We brought hipster figures, pictures of leaders of the Jewish state. We are bringing movies, short movies. It brings dilemma, because it's not either or you support Israel or you ignore Israel. Let's talk about Israel, what Israel is. We are not afraid to talk about the dilemmas, the checkpoints, about the immigration, about Shabbat and stuff like this. So this is part, the culture, music. It's not only the music that, the grandparents were familiar, but to bring the up-to-date music, which is very, very popular. We won the Eurovision contest, and we have singers all over and DJs all over the world. So again, creating a new language, a new engagement between the young generation and the state of Israel through other vehicles than politics. It's not, Israel doesn't mean only politics. We have high tech, we have cuisine. The Israeli cuisine is well known all over the world. Music, you name it. So that's our way to discuss with the communities today.
Why did you choose Mexico to do the Congress?
First of all, we are very proud of the Zionist Federation here in Mexico. We are awarding the Jerusalem Prize to figures in the world that are not Jewish, that showed throughout the years a big support to the Jewish community, the local Jewish community, and Israel. And each one of the states are choosing their own figure. So here in Mexico, the Zionist Federation with us decided to give it to Mr. De La More, this prize, because as I understand, he is a source of pride for the Mexican people and is not afraid to speak up in favor of the Jewish community, and it's an honor for me to come and to present with the Zionist Federation, with the Jewish community, this prize to him. At the same time, to learn more about the needs here in Mexico, how we can strengthen the ties between the Mexican Jewish community and the World Zionist Organization and the State of Israel. So this is the reason for me to come here.
We see in Israel a renewed interest in Latin America. Since our website serves all Latin America, we would like to ask you why is there a new interest in Latin America, in Israel?
First of all, you surprised me. I didn't know that there is a new interest. For me, it was very clear from the beginning, all the focus goes to the United States.
Exactly.
Because this is the majority Jews outside of Israel are living in the United States. I can tell you from the minute I was elected to this position, it was clear to me that we need to put a projector over Latin America and other places, Europe and other places. I would guess that some of the interest comes because lots of our young people are traveling here in
Yes.
Latin America, and they are bringing the message back home. I can tell you that we have developed in the department a program that is called Mochileros. You know what is
Yes.
Mochileros. And with the idea of them not just coming and traveling, but stopping for 2 months here in a small Jewish community and doing some work with the Jewish community. The aim of this program is on both ways. For the Jewish community, a small Jewish community doesn't have the ability to bring a shaliach, to have someone coming from Israel with programs and all the spirit and culture. And for the young adults that are coming here to volunteer in these communities, for them is to be exposed to the small Jewish communities in Latin America and to bring this knowledge back home. So if you are asking me, I think both things encourage more interest in Latin America.
Yes, because Latin America is the third Jewish population with 450,000 people.
Right.
So it feels sometimes neglected, So we are happy that now Israel is getting to look at this population.
Not by us, not by me, definitely. As you can see, we are very much, as a department, we are very much invested here in Latin America with lots of programs, and this Mochileros program really is a revolution in the way to bring young people not just to tour but to stay, and it creates a new notion about Latin America. And I can tell you that we are very much invested here. More than my department, we have now a seminar in Cancun with teachers and dancing teachers, and so we have chairs of department that are originally either from Argentina or Uruguay, so they know about you.
Thank you. And now you told me why Israel should know about the diaspora. But I will ask you, what is the diaspora missing about Israel now?
Oh, I think it's a very interesting, because one thing that I'm saying that Israelis are missing Judaism, and those that are living abroad are missing Israel. They have Judaism because you have to do something active. I think that what they are missing is, some of them, is looking at Israel not only through the media, but going into depth and understanding the complexity of the life in Israel, of the conflict, and not to be ashamed of being Jews or supporting Israel. I know it's hard. I know when you go to the university or you go out there, it's very hard to young people to cope with the hate, with the ignorance, with anti-Semitism that they have to face as young adults. I think that they need to know more, and not by trying to avoid, they will gain, unfortunately, not much, and they will lose a big part of what they are. So if you are asking me what I would like them to do, is to know more about Israel, to come more to Israel. And one of the things that is very, very clear to me, if 10 years ago I could conduct this and other conversation in Hebrew, less and less I can do it today, because the young people, they would go, a principal of a school said, parents at the end of the day, they want their children to be successful. So if they have to choose between Hebrew and English, definitely they will choose the English, and the Hebrew is neglected. So we are missing, if we are talking especially about Latin America, the connection that is created through a language. So I hope that we can reverse this with opening new Olpanim and encouraging more people to come and learn the language, because this is a way to connect.
We have a state now, and a lot of people, like 20, 30 years ago, they had these arguments that now that we had the state of Israel, Judaism would become extinct. Now we're going back to Judaism, but one of the main strategies back then was to connect with the history. Now we're talking about a new narrative. It's not. It doesn't make that our identity gets endangered because we're trying to suppress one identity with the other.
I can tell you. Around the Shabbat dinner, we had a discussion with my son. He works for a law firm, and one of them is an Arabic lawyer, and she's not willing to get the blue ID from the State of Israel, and he asked her. He said, "What is your solution? How can we live here together?" And she said, and she lives in the East Jerusalem, like she's not from the. And she said, you need to give up on the idea of Zionism. And what does it mean to give up on an idea of having a Jewish state? Are we?
Of course not.
So if you are asking me, the state of Israel needs to stay, and the Judaism should be something that is very obvious. We should not and cannot apologize for that. And there is a mix of ideas around the world in the Jewish communities. Sometimes they tend to think if there will be no state of Israel, they will be safe as Jews.
Exactly. Those are the same ideas they had 200 years ago.
And this is false. We know it.
Of course.
And this is something that we need, in a way, to find a way to tell the story to our young generation, because they live a dream that doesn't exist. But this is something that it's bigger than ourselves. It's very dangerous, I can tell you. Each time that I'm coming back from one of my trips, I'm more concerned about what I see. among ourselves. It's not to say about the outside. If I'm visiting at the Columbia University, and in the past it was only if you talk about Israel, then you will be punched. Today, just mentioning that you are Jew, it's enough that they will attack you. So people are not identify themselves as Jews, and if you do so, you risk yourself that you will get yourself into some kind of a trouble. So this is insane. And I don't know how to stop this craziness, but definitely the story needs to be told. Cool. Because at the past, it showed. When we wanted to integrate in the society, we gave up on any Jewish identity and so on. It didn't end up good. So why to think different? Exactly.
Is there anything called post-Zionism?
Post-Zionism is to understand that we don't have the right for self-determination. This is post-Zionism. Can we agree to this?
Of course.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.